Hello, mixtresses and mixters. This is Mixtress Ray. You're watching Mixtress Video, and I'm just really excited right now. I have a little bit of a story to tell you. Um, Normally, I'd be sorry, I didn't know I was going to be filming a video tonight, so this is unexpected. I'm drinking some sleepy time tea, and I want to share with you guys a nice little story. It's a bedtime story, if you will. So, this is my third edition of the Wild Unknown Tarot that I've had for a few months. Not super long. I didn't know that the Wild Unknown Tarot existed until January, I think. And it's, as you guys, if you guys have already seen my ranked videos or my video with my rankings of my top, all of my decks ranked, this is my number one favorite deck of all time. So, for a little while, I have wanted the first edition. I spilled some tea on the top of it. Anyway, and I told you guys in my tarot ranking video that I was thinking about buying. There was one listed on eBay, and it was listed as the Wild Unknown first edition, but it only had a picture of the top of the box, just like this. So that was the only picture in the whole listing. So I assumed naturally, and it was listed for $15 with like $5 shipping. So I assumed naturally that it was probably the knockoff version of the first edition, because the knockoff version of the first, and I had seen on Mindful Tarot's channel, the knockoff version of the first edition was relatively decent in quality, and it still had the same images, and I kind of like the original images on the cards. And so I just decided to go for it. It was still wrapped. I was, it was selling for $15, so I was like 95% sure that it was going to be the knockoff. But if it was going to be of decent quality, the actual first edition, the non-knockoff first edition, sells for like $130 or more on eBay. There's like an official seller that sells the first edition still wrapped for like $125 or something like that, probably not including shipping. And I just decided, you know what, I'm not going to be disappointed. It's going to be the knockoff. I'm not getting the first edition for $15 fucking dollars. There's no way. It came today, and unfortunately, I was headed out the door to go to work, and I just ripped it open really quick because I wanted to see if it was the actual first edition or not. And my whole intention was to, because the first edition has, the real first edition has the thumb cutouts like my third edition does here. And from what I've seen on the Mindful Tarot channel, the knockoff first edition doesn't have the little thumb cutout. So I just thought, okay, I'm going to rip it open just real quick. I need to go to work, but I just want to see, because I'll be wondering all day long. I had an 8-hour shift today, so it was going to be like, 9 hours before I got home. So I wanted to know, I just wanted to open it and see that there weren't any thumb cutouts, manage my expectations. It was wrapped in tissue paper. It had, and still in the cellophane, it had this nice little black ribbon tied with a neat little bow. So beautiful. The shipping actually cost the person that sold it to me on eBay several dollars more than the $5 I paid for it, because I just noticed the price on the packaging. And I opened it, and it has the thumb cutouts. And I was like, oh my God. If I were a patient person that could wait until I got home from work, I would have not ripped it open right at that moment, and I could have done the unboxing here with you guys. But I did, because I couldn't wait. So I took the cellophane off, and then I just kind of opened it real quick, and I could not tell. I could not tell if it was the real first edition or not. I just thought, you know what, maybe they've gotten a little bit better at at the knockoff version. You know, maybe it's just a little bit better now, and I just put it in my bag and took it with me to work so I could, like, you know, kind of peruse them more thoroughly on my lunch break. But I didn't even take the time to go upstairs and grab my other edition to compare it to. That didn't even cross my mind. And then I open it up. And another thing Mindful Tarot had pointed out was that it's, you know, when you open it up, it's kind of like a little bit hard to open like that, the first edition. I'm pretty sure the knockoff first edition doesn't have this printing on the inside of the box. Maybe it does. I don't know, you know. And then I saw this paper, and this is like a cream colored paper. On the Mindful Tarot, she was actually comparing the two editions. So I knew what I was expecting if it was the knockoff. And this is a nice cream colored paper, just like the actual first edition. And I was like, okay, like I'm still trying to manage my expectations. Like there's no way I just got the first edition of Wild Unknown Tarot for $15. There's no way. But then, so I open this up. It's just this nice cream colored paper, just like the real first edition, just like everything I've seen. Keep in mind, like, I'm completely doubting this just in general because I'm a skeptical person, I guess, but also because the only edition of Wild Unknown I have ever had my hands on, literally, is this third edition, the one that you can just buy right now from eBay or from Amazon or wherever. Okay, so set that aside. I open this up. It's got the ribbon. It's got the printing on the inside of the box. It's got the, you know, the little card on the bottom, like I've seen actual first editions. I've seen lots of like comparison videos and stuff just because I love this tarot deck, so I watch every video I can on it. Okay, I look at the cards and I'm like, they're still pretty thick. Like the knockoff version was supposed to be kind of a thinner cards. Can you hear that? It still has this gorgeous, it's more of a papery quality than the third edition has. Actually want to, like, maybe here in a second. Anyway, I didn't really like plan this video before I pressed record. So it wasn't until I got home from work that I was able to, because I knew that, first of all, I knew that the knockoff version of the box is smaller than the third edition. The knockoff version of the first edition box is smaller than the, and it's not sturdy. This box is fucking sturdy. This is not knockoff quality. And I get home and I'm finally able to compare the sizes of the boxes. And as you can see, this box is bigger. I mean, yes, the cards do not, should have shown you this before I took the cards out, do not go all the way to the top of the box. But when you've got the little ribbon in there and you've got the little paper sitting on top, it looks right. It looks totally right. And the ribbon is such that you can like pull to take the little instructions out, and then you can pull to take the cards out. Okay, all right. So far, I'm starting to freak out at this point. Like, all day long, I was like, surely they've just gotten a little bit better at the packaging on the knockoff deck. Surely that's all it is. And I get home, finally, at the end of the day. It's like 9 o'clock. I get home, I'm done with my chores for the day, and I sit down with the boxes. I realize the box is bigger. I'm still just kind of like, you know what? They've just gotten better at the packaging. It's fine. I get the cards out, knowing that the knockoff version of the first edition, the cards are going to be thinner than mine. And you see, It's hard to see because the lighting's bad because it's nighttime. But it is thicker. It is absolutely thicker. That first edition is thicker. So at this point, I told Michael about it. I was like, okay, I'm gonna get out the cards that have been changed because I do have them separated at the bottom here, just for fun. I know you guys have probably seen these videos before, but just for fun. I think those are the only ones, right? 2, 4, 6. Are there others that have been changed? If there are, sorry, I'm just too excited right now and I can't concentrate. So, let's just set this down right here, whatever. Okay. So I like told Michael my whole dilemma. I didn't even tell him that I ordered this deck because I just thought I was ordering a knockoff deck. It was $15, whatever. I didn't even tell him. But I like paused what we were watching and like, which is silly. I paused what we were watching. I was like, okay, look, here's the deal. I told him the whole story. And he starts looking through the cards. And mind you, he's not like experienced with this deck in general, but just like looking at them like from an artist perspective, he was like, yeah, I'm gonna concur with you. This is the real first edition. So there it is. Sorry, I'm not good at like telling stories, but I tried to like draw that out when obviously you probably knew what was coming. I'm pretty sure this is the actual first edition of the Wild Unknown Tarot. And I know this is probably those of y'all that would like to have this version of the deck. It's probably a little disappointing to you to find that I got it for $15. I mean, just disappointing in that, like, maybe you missed out on it. Because when I looked at the auction, you know, when I first found out about it, I waited like a day or two before I bought it because I was just really thinking about it. Like, obviously, this is going to be a knockoff, you know, whatever. Do I want to buy a knockoff? I even like talked to you guys about it. Like, do I want to buy a knockoff? I don't know. I think I do. You might judge me for it, but I think I do because it would just be nice to have like because I knew about the changed cards. I feel like there's 7 changed cards, so there's something in there I'm missing, but you know, whatever. You guys can watch another video if you want to see the changed cards from the first to the second edition. And I don't know, I just feel like so lucky right now that I just got this deck that is one of the most popular tarot decks of all time. People want this first edition. People want it. And I was just able to snag it. You know, like, people weren't fighting. You know, they were looking at it. And it makes sense. I mean, the reason why I was hesitant too, you know, like the eBayer was not somebody that, I mean, she had like enough feedback to see that like this person got good feedback, but she didn't sell things all the time. She only had a handful of things listed. So she's not like a big company, you know, kind of person. But it was listed in the listing. It was titled that it was the first edition. So she knew enough to know that this tarot deck had different editions. And I don't know. Anyway, and it was just that the picture was just like kind of a crappy quality picture. And it just showed, and this is just the lid, but it just showed the top of the box. You could tell that it was still wrapped in cellophane, and it had a little black ribbon tied around it. And it was, you know, pretty presentation, but the fact that it was just that one picture, listing that it was a first edition, you know, naturally I assumed that it wasn't the actual first edition. Yeah, anyway, sorry, I'm just, at this point I'm repeating myself because I'm just kind of giddy that I really never thought that I would get the first edition, because although I gotta say, for the most part, I prefer the old versions of these cards. Like, especially when it comes to the Hierophant. Sorry, as you can tell, I'm very unorganized today. Because I'm just like, I just wanted to send you guys I don't know why I did that in the way that I did. Like, why didn't I just show you these comparisons one by one? I don't know. Why did I do that? Okay, we can do it now. Why not? But I prefer the original because the background is less busy. I don't know. What do you guys think? I mean, obviously, I'm not gonna get rid of this version, my 3rd edition version. It's, you know, I fell in love with it. I also prefer the original version of the Lovers, just again because most of the changes that were made to the cards were adding color, and I just prefer how simple it was from the very beginning. Both of these kind of don't make sense to me. Like, neither of these say 7 of Cups to me, so, you know, like, I like them both equally. The same with these, like, I do like this as a 9 of Wands. I like it a lot. But I like both of them pretty much equally. This one was, like, pretty much completely redone. Yeah, these aren't even the same branches. But I think I don't know. I tend to want to say that I like this one better, but that's probably just because it's new to me right now. I definitely prefer the Old Temperance. Again, just because I think the fire and water stands out more in this image. I like the simplicity of the background. Doesn't really help to get close. And I don't know if you guys can tell, in general, like, the detail on the 1st edition seems to be slightly better. And then this card was just completely redone. Obviously, this one's a more, I don't know, it's more polished. Like, this lamb in the 3rd edition is definitely better drawn than this lamb. But again, I like the swords better in this 1st edition because they're more detailed. One thing I will say, I mean, I obviously can't compare with the 2nd edition, and I can't compare with any of the knockoff editions, but this one's the 1st edition cardstock versus the 3rd. It's hard to tell, but this one is thinner, but it's not it's not a hugely noticeable difference. And this one, the feel to it is kind of like, this one's smooth, very smooth and matte. And this one is definitely smooth. It's almost more matte. It's less of the buttery feel. It's still very nice and smooth, but it has more of a, see how my fingers like skidding on it? More of like a papery quality. More of a papery quality. Anyway. I'm so happy. I'm just so happy. I can't believe I just got, you know, the 1st edition of The Wild Unknown for $10. $15, sorry. $15 plus $5 shipping, so I paid $20.40 or something total. And I just, that, you know, that does not happen to me. You know, I tend to overpay for things because I'm impatient. You know, I don't like wait around for a good deal. And I didn't think that I was getting the actual 1st edition, so I don't know. Anyway, I'm happy and hope you guys, I mean, I know I would be jealous if I was watching this video, because I'm sure there were a lot of people that looked at that auction and thought, that's not going to be the real 1st edition. Pass. And just because I guess I was just willing to take a chance because I was totally okay with the fact that it was probably gonna be a knockoff. I don't know, I got lucky because of that, and it happens sometimes, you know? I was fully prepared to make a video for you guys. I was gonna make like a little video on how, you know, a knockoff deck isn't necessarily a bad thing because Kim Kranz is not going to care either way at this point because she's not going to receive any of the money for a first edition anyway. So, you know, it wouldn't really matter where you got it from. Like for me personally, I wouldn't want to pay the company directly that's making knockoffs, but if I just pay an individual eBayer that happens to be selling it, you know, I didn't think that was a morally reprehensible thing to do, and I was gonna make a video for you guys just talking about how the quality of the knockoff really isn't that bad. You know, if you want to get something like that, it's up to you and blah blah blah. But I ended up making an entirely different video because this is the actual first edition. It's incredible. It's incredible. I'm going to stop this video so I can enjoy them a little bit. So I hope you guys are having a great night, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!